What's up? My name's Alexander and welcome to Xander Photography. I am a content creator. It's what I was born to do. I'm the proud owner of Xander, a comedy skit channel here on YouTube where I share my weird comedy ideas, and for the first 2 years, all the footage of that channel was shot on the Canon M50. But 2 years later, I switched to Fuji. And here's why. One, Fuji is fun. Whoa, wait, I did not mean to rhyme, but I do sometimes. What's wrong with me? Like I mentioned before, the first camera that I used to record video content was the Canon M50. But then I got into photography. So I started using the Canon M50 for portrait photography, street photography, going into the city, taking photos of food, strangers, you name it. And the Canon M50 is a great hybrid camera, but it just wasn't fun to use, you know what I'm saying? The photos of the Canon M50 were great, but the body itself was lacking dials, customizable buttons. I had to do everything in the menu most of the time, and it wasn't fun. I had to keep diving into the menu system. Yes, the touchscreen is very easy to use, very intuitive, very responsive, but I didn't want to use the screen for everything. And with the Canon M50, I was using the screen for everything. It almost felt like I was using my smartphone to take photos. And if I wanted to feel like I was using my smartphone to take photos, I'd use a smartphone. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just me, okay? Now with the Fuji XT-4, it's got everything. It's got buttons, customizable buttons. It's got a focus mode switch. It's got dials, so many dials. I don't even use half of them, but I'm glad they're there anyway. It's got, oh my God, this is the best thing in the world, by the way. For a content creator like me, it's got this switch between stills and video, and honestly, it's amazing. It saves the settings for each mode separately and changes the menu system. It has made my life so much easier going between photos and video, and the Canon M50 did not have that at all. Or at least not that I can remember. And since I usually shoot manual, being able to change my exposure settings on the fly with one hand usually is just like, it's very nice to have all these options and dials and buttons. It's just great. Reason number 2, the looks. Listen, whoever runs the design department of Fujifilm needs to get a raise. I'm telling you right now, these cameras, they look beautiful. Not just the Fuji X-T4, but almost all the cameras. I don't think I've seen a camera by Fujifilm that I looked at and went, nah, it don't look good. They all look really great. They have like that retro style to it. You know what I mean? People come up to me all the time asking me, yo, I like your film camera. From what year is it? And I tell them, 2020. No, but seriously, the body of the camera is beautiful. I really love the way it looks, and I really do think that it's important that if you're gonna use something, if it's gonna be whatever, your phone, your laptop, you want it to look nice too. You want to pick it up and feel like, wow, this is beautiful. Let me use it. Does that make any sense to anybody out there? Let me know. That's probably just like my own thing. I don't know. And actually, before buying the Fuji X-T4, I bought a Sony a6600, and you know, I don't believe there's an ugly camera out there. But if I had a gun pointed to my head and I had to pick a camera that I thought looked ugly, I'm sorry, Sony. You know what else? I actually walked into B&H Photo and almost convinced myself to go full frame Canon instead. But then I saw the Fuji, like the Fuji wall they had there, like all the cameras on display, and I just got intrigued, so I walked over and I checked out the Fuji X-T4, and I was like, man, it's got everything. The X-T4 reminds me of an old film camera, and as someone who enjoys cinematography, I love the retro black and silver design. It just looks so cool. So not only do the photos coming out of this camera look really good, but the camera itself looks really good. And I am someone who values that. Some of you might not care about how your camera looks, or maybe think that the Fuji cameras look ugly if something's wrong with you, but you know, to each his own. You go ahead, do what you want to do. Reason number 3, and it might be the most important reason on this whole list, but it's the Fuji lenses. Look, the camera itself gets upgraded almost every year, so honestly, the long-term investment is the lenses. You can upgrade the camera body every year if you wanted to, but the lenses, The lenses stay. And I only have 4 lenses, and let me explain which ones they are. We got the 50mm f2 lens right here. This might even be my favorite lens in my lineup. I use this lens to do a lot of portrait photography, to do a lot of candid street photography, to do a lot of detailed shots. You know, this lens is really, really nice. The lens hood that comes in the box is okay, but I got this one on Amazon, and honestly, I think this fits the overall character of the lens just a little better. What do you think? I have the 18-55 kit lens, which I don't understand why it's called a kit lens. This does all the video work that I need to do, and honestly, this is a great lens. It's not weather sealed, maybe. That's probably why it's a great lens, trust me. And the lens that's recording me is the Fuji 23mm f2, which I use all the time for my street photography. The lenses that are usually on my camera the most are the 23mm f2 or the 35mm f2, but honestly, the 23mm f2 probably edges the other one out. Almost all of Fuji's lenses have these aperture rings. Clicky, clicky. And what these aperture rings allow me to do is to quickly change the exposure of my shot all within, you know, the front dial, the back dial of the camera body, and then the aperture ring right here. So I never have to go into the camera's menu system. The f2 prime lenses are small, compact, and honestly, they're fast enough for the way that I shoot. And the 3 f2 prime lenses all are weather sealed, so I don't have to worry about, you know, going out into the rain with my Fuji XT-4, because it is also weather sealed. And when I say weather sealed, I don't mean weatherproof, so don't go jumping into a pool, alright, with your camera and this lens and expect it to survive, and when it doesn't, don't come to me and be like, yo, I jumped into a pool, how come my camera got damaged? Listen. Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. All I'm saying is that lenses matter, and for right now, these 4 lenses do everything that I need them to do. And the last reason why I switched to Fuji is video. I'm mostly a video guy, and to be honest, if I didn't do as much video as I did now, then, you know, I would have picked up an XT2 or an XT3, but I really enjoy the IBIS that's in the XT4. I enjoy the flip out screen so I can see myself when I record, which is very, very important to me. Yes, I know you can put an external monitor on top of the camera regardless of what the camera is, but honestly, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Mic on top of the camera, good to go. Create some content, quick and efficient. That's how I do. That's how I roll. Oh, and if you're wondering why I didn't bring up autofocus, it's because it's never been a problem for me. It's not Sony autofocus. It's not Canon autofocus, it's Fuji. And honestly, it's more than adequate for the kind of work that I do. I've never had an issue with it. The eye detect, the face detect, it's great, okay? It works. Like I said, for what I do, this camera does everything. If you like this video, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe for more content. Follow me on ClickXander on Instagram. I post some more photos that I take with this camera on there. And you know what? Thank you for watching the video, and welcome to ClickXander Photography. And with that being said, deuces.